Hello everybody, I'm Joe Latender, and in this video we're going to go through a review of Lowe's vinyl plank. We're going to look at Smartcore Pro, we're going to look at Procore Plus, and we're also going to look at Smartcore Ultra. So let's get going. Let's do the hammer test. I'll show you the results during the video. Okay, so the first plank that I want to talk about is Smartcore Pro. We already did regular Smartcore. Today we're going to do Smartcore Pro, Smartcore Ultra, and Procore. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there was 7 planks in here. And out of those 7 planks, we have 2 of the same pattern there, 2 of the same, and 3 of the same here. So there's only 3 patterns, 3 different patterns in one box. So you can see, here's this plank. You kind of see the same pattern there. Here's this one. You can see the same pattern. Might be better to see this one down here. Now this right here, the locking system, on this side is the groove. So you can see it's reversed. So this side is the groove on this plank right here, and then here's the groove on this one. So if I flip it, then they're identical. So they did reverse that, but it's still. Now this one has 3 of the same complete patterns in this box. You can see here and here. Now those two, the locking system was reversed, so it's actually like this. So it was reversed. Still the same exact pattern though, so I'm not in love with that. Same with this one. And I mean, they're not even staggered at all like some of the planks that we've been seeing, where they'll be staggered like this. Okay, let's see how this cuts. I just changed this blade, so it's brand new. So that scores and snaps pretty easy. Let's see how it goes in the length. So that snaps pretty nicely in the length. The pad likes to stick on this one though. It doesn't like to break off, so that's pretty good. Pad on there. Let's try the jigsaw. Okay, the jigsaw cuts through that just like butter. Hot knife through butter. Okay, let's try the marker test. Now I try this because I like to use a permanent marker when I'm marking my walls and door jambs for cuts. And so I like to show that you can use this. And that denatured alcohol takes it right off. Now you can use denatured alcohol to take permanent marker off, rubbing alcohol, goof off, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Okay, so this is a drop and lock. So this is the groove, you can see. So the groove usually sticks out a lot farther, and then the tongue is usually a lot smaller. It only sticks out a little bit. You always want to try to work away from the groove. Now this, like I said, is a drop and lock, so I just put the plank into the joint right here. Get my elbow out of your way. Once you get it together and it's lined up, then you just hit it together with a rubber mallet of some sort. This stuff's actually going together pretty decent for the most part. Now this is a tapping block that I like to use. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. It's a nice heavy duty tapping block. It's not one that you can get at the home improvement store, so I'll leave a link for it. It works great, especially for planks that have a strong locking system. When you get into planks that have really brittle locking systems, these tongues or these grooves, when you hit them, can break pretty easy. But you can see I'm hitting this pretty decent, and they're not breaking. This plank definitely goes together nice. I don't know, there's a little bit of a crease in there where it kind of bevels up. I'm gonna pull this apart and show you. You can see. So I just like to show this because this is easy to damage. You see that? So I like to put these together a couple times to see if they will break when they come apart. Because a lot of times that little lip right there can break off. So when you're ever using a drop and lock, you want to make sure that before you pound it in, you're ready to pound it in. Because you don't want to be taking these apart unless you absolutely have to. The other thing is, once you put these in, you want to lift up from the tongue side, not the groove side. If you lift up the wrong way, like from this side, that's how you can get that end to get damaged and look funny. All right, overall it went together good, but I don't like what those did and how easy they did it. And because of that, I can only give this installation a 3 out of 10. Now this is a darker one, so this would show it if there was any scratches the most. I'm not seeing any. No scratches. Okay, this first one is Smartcore Pro, and I want to show you what the hammer did to it. You can kind of see it right there. Really not too bad. There's a dent in there, but this is a pretty tough plank. Now it didn't make a dent at all with it. That's from the claw of the hammer. That didn't make a dent at all with the other part of the hammer. Okay, now this is Smartcore Pro. The color of this is Glendale Pine. The size of the plank is 7x48. It has an attached pad on it. The thickness of this plank is 6 millimeters. Now this plank is $409 a square foot. The wear layer on this is a 20 mil. The scratch protection that they put with the wear layer is a urethane ceramic. So that's usually a pretty tough coating to put on here. So I want to see how easy the locking system breaks. You can see I'm breaking it pretty easy. Now I get a lot of comments on that's really not going to matter. You know what? It does matter if you have a weak locking system or not. So when you're installing, you don't want this to be breaking while you're handling it. You also, if you have any unevenness in your floor, which let's be honest, who gets their floors perfectly flat, this can break. And then the other part I want to test is how durable is it underneath this finished part. Sometimes these plank manufacturers get cheap and they make those really thin, and by just lifting up just a little, I've been able to, you know, bend this up. You can see right here. I like to see more durability in the edges of these tongues so that they don't or not tongue, but the groove here where the tongue plugs in. This is a beveled edge, so it's not going to matter quite as much, but when you have a really weak lip right there on top of the groove, that's what can cause the mountain look at the joints, and you don't want that. It just looks really bad, especially when you're looking across your floor in certain lighting. All right, let's give this the fork test. I see a little bit of a scratch right there. Can you see that? Hardly. I'm gonna wipe it off with some water and see if it just goes away. I don't see it anymore. So once again, the urethane ceramic finish that protects the wear layer comes through. Listen, I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't been very happy with this plank, especially with it costing $409 a square foot. I just am not very impressed with this at all, especially when I showed you when I was installing it, how the lip concaved up while we were pounding the joints together like you're supposed to do. I just am not very happy with this plank at all, and I'll be honest with you, I can only give this plank a 3 out of 10. I just am not happy. I know that might seem brutal, but I'm just not happy with this plank at all. And the price that they have on it, I think, is pretty ridiculous. Okay, so now we're gonna look at Smartcore Ultra. Let's see what's inside this box. All right, so we have 8 pieces in this box. We have 5 different patterns. 4 of them are the same pattern, 4 plank. You can see the pattern here. See it there? The difference is this one's reversed. So I'll show you what that looks like. But there it is again there and there. So again, reversed. So now I'm going to stack these up for you so that you can see what they actually look like. So here's these 3. Now these are all with the locking system going the same way on these 3. This one, the locking system is reversed, so it should be in there like this. So there would be the pattern right there, right? But it's turned around, the locking system different. So it is reversed, but 4 of them. So there's 2, and then here's the other 2. All right, let's see how this stuff cuts. Scores and snap nicely. Let's try the short way. And that cuts nicely, scores and snaps nicely in the length. That cuts like a hot knife through butter. All right, let's try the marker test on this one. Comes right off. Now this one is a tongue and groove. You can see the groove right here. And then here's the tongue. So the tongue goes into the groove by lifting it up at an angle and it locks in. This is the kind of plank that you really want to get. It's got way more strength in these joints. So that way it went together pretty decent. Let's see how this goes together. Ooh, that just falls into place. You can see I'm using my tapping block on this, so I'm not being shy with it. So with the tongue and groove, you lift, you put the groove or the tongue into the groove, then slide it this way as much as you can. Lift up at a slight angle, tap the plank in. Okay, so this had a micro bevel on it. Overall, the plank went together good. Now this is only a 5-inch wide, or close to that. So the skinnier the plank, the harder it is to get started, like I was just showing you. If you went with a wider plank, it might go together a lot easier. This particular plank, I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10 as far as easiness in installing. Now let's do the sand test. Looking at certain lighting here, no scratches. Okay, so this is Smartcore Ultra. The color is Woodford Oak. The size of this plank was a 6x48. It has an attached pad on it. Kind of a pretty looking one, right? It's $3.99 a square foot. It's 7.5 inches or millimeters thick. It has a wear layer of 12 mil on it, which I will tell you 12 mil is a good wear layer for somebody, for a home, okay? You're gonna have you're not gonna go through this wear layer as far as wearing it out with your feet, getting down to the pattern, okay? A 12 mil wear layer is pretty dang good. 20 is starting to get to be overkill. The scratch protection on this is the acrylic, which I have found the acrylic scratch resistance is pretty decent. So let's find out. You can see, out of all the 3 planks that I'm doing today, this one did get the most damage from the claw where it went in the deepest. I don't necessarily think that this is a horrible product because of that, because I did use a hammer to do that. It is still pretty durable. But anyway, you could take that as you want to take it. I'm going to check out this locking system. Again, this one breaks. It breaks pretty easy. It's not like a potato chip. I have to put a little pressure on to break it. So you'd want to make sure you have a nice flat floor if you're going to use something like this, because you could break your locking system. And you know, I did hit it good with the tapping block. It didn't break with that. So I'm not going to say that this is a terrible locking system, because it does take a little bit of force to break it. But I will tell you that it did take a beating with my tapping block. Now let's check out the edge, the lip of this, seeing how easy this breaks. Now you see this, I'm putting a lot of pressure on, and I cannot break underneath this, lifting up, like I showed you with the other one. I'm gonna, like this one. This one was really easy to snap off. Okay, real easy. Now this one, I can't at all. So to me, that's a heck of a durable plank right there when that won't break, okay? I'm very, very, very impressed with that. Okay, so let's do the fork test here. Now I hit that pretty hard with the fork, but you can see it did leave some scratches here. Now I'm not sure if those are just marks from the fork, so we're gonna take some water after it to see if they come off, because it doesn't appear that it scratched it. It appears it's just metal on that wear layer making a mark when the fork goes across it. Now this has an acrylic on it that protects the wear layer. Most of those scratches are gone. There's a little bit left right here. Let's see if it wipes off. It seems to wipe off when I rubbed it a little harder, so I don't see any scratches really. Now this has a nice texture to it too, so this is embossed pretty well. And it, you know, some people wonder, does a plank that is embossed a lot, does it scratch easy? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Depends on the wear layer. This has an acrylic on it. Anyway, I thought this installed pretty decent. I think that I liked how it went together. It's a pure tongue and groove. I think that this is the type of plank that people should stick with because it's gonna be a lot more durable for you, especially when you have this butt joint locked in nicely where it doesn't move up and down. It has the locking system there to hold it in place instead of the drop and lock. So I really do like this plank. I think that it's a good solid plank, would be a great buy. I would give this a, between the install and everything, I'd give this a, I'd say a 7.5. 7.5 out of 10. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the Procore and see what we got inside this box. So a wise man once said, worry weighs a person down, an encouraging word cheers a person up. Now the reason why I say that is because some of you, okay, so this is the first part, right, of your plank venture here that you're going on. You're trying to find a good quality plank. The next is you're probably thinking that you're gonna install this on your own. Now you shouldn't have fear or worry about that. I know some of you do, I'm talking to you, right? You have fear and worry, can I do this? Yes, you can. Now I wouldn't put videos on YouTube if I didn't think that you could learn from this and do this on your own. Okay, you can. You just need to go gather the right information to do this. Now I have a video that'll bring us through an entire house. It's called Install Vinyl Plank in Your Entire Home with no experience necessary or no experience needed. Okay, and in that video, I'm gonna go on a journey with you and I'm gonna show you how to get started and how to get those first few rows down, how to figure a little bit of layout. We're gonna go through a dining room, a living room, into a kitchen, through a hallway. We're gonna reconnect around a wall. I'll show you how to do that. Just like an island, but a big wall also, okay? We're gonna go into a bathroom, into a bedroom, all of this with no transitions. We're gonna have it transitionless so it flows nicely through every room. Now, during this journey that we're gonna be on, as we're going through these different areas, I'll point out videos on a playlist that I have on my channel called Plank Boot Camp, where you can go and get more information on anything that we're covering in this video, where I just touched on it enough to get you through. But if you wanna get detailed and get in, really get some more instructions out of more information from this, I'll point these videos out to you, like floor prep, okay? There's a video I'll show you in that. In the bathroom, there's a video you can watch for that. Going into another room and coming around a wall, reconnecting, all sorts of different videos you can venture off of to get more detailed information. Now, there's also one other place that you can go, and that's called Laminate University. It's a membership site I have. Now, I know it says laminate, but it's also for vinyl plank. Same thing, basically, okay? You can join that. I have a plank installation guide that you can follow step by step that will walk you through your entire installation step by step with bite-sized videos. Also, you can share pics, any questions you have, I'll be there for you to coach you along the way. And using your drawing, I'll give you custom tailored installation instructions for your plank installation by using your drawing and through video. So there's lots of options there for you for information. No need to fear whatsoever. Check those out. There'll be description, or in the description below this video, you'll find all those links. Now, worry weighs a person down, an encouraging word cheers a person up. Check that quote out, Google it. All right, out of 10 planks in one carton, there's only 4 different patterns. Here's 3 that are the same. Here's 4 that are pretty much the same. This one's all by its lonesome. This one has 2. Let's start looking at them and see how identical they are. So this one is pretty much identical. This one overlaps a little so you can see how it sticks out the end. all the plank is going the same direction this time. Let's go through this one. You can see how this is the same. See the little knot? And then these two, next two are identical. And then this one, it's overlapped a little bit. Okay, there it is. Took me a little bit to find it, but there's the overlap on this one. So you can see it's right there. And we have this one all by itself. And then we have these two. Okay, let's try the marker test on this. My rag's getting a little dry. Okay, you can see marker comes right off of that. Scores and snaps nicely. Let's try the length. That also scores and snaps nicely. All right, let's try the jigsaw on this one. Again, it cuts through nicely. Now it does leave burrs like most vinyl plank does, but that's no big deal. That will get covered up with your trim. And this looks like it's a square edge plank, so no bevel. Now it's tight together. I don't see any bevel in the end this time. So a lot of times getting started with your first few rows, it's better not to pound that in. Put in the long part, slide it back so it's all the way to the edge there, then drop it down. See how it just fell down into place? Then we'll take the rubber mallet and hit it down. Okay, now this is all together. Same thing. So get it in the long joint, slide it back, let it drop. This stuff actually is just falling into place really in the length. And I guess it doesn't have a micro bevel, but it's a little small, tiny bevel in there. Okay. This plank's actually going together pretty nice. Now it is a wider plank. Come on now. Much better drop and lock system on this one. Kind of looks like there's a little bit of a gap in the butt joint, but overall this went together really nicely. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 as far as easiness for installation. Okay, now let's see if we can take these apart. They slide apart real easy. So that's one way to get these drop and locks apart once you put them together. But let's lift it out. The tongue, or the little lip on the groove is still there. So that's good, that didn't break off. Let's try to put it back together again. Okay, after I put it back together, it's still not loose in there. Let's see, she pops out. Still held a little bit there too. Again, you don't want to do this unless you absolutely have to. But I want to show you that you can if you need to. All right, you can see it got a little looser moving in and out. I can see it moving up and down now, but that's because I took it apart a couple times, so you don't want to do that with this plank. Let's see what happens when I lift up on this side. Okay, so you want to be careful with that too. All drop-in locks do this, not just this one or the last one. So be careful not to lift up the wrong side if you need to take it apart, because you will get that crease. Now this is not a super coarse sand, it's the sand you'd find in your house. I'm not seeing any scratches. No scratches. All right, so this is Procore Plus. Now you can see the hammer, the claw of the hammer, maybe you can see it left a little bit of a ding in there. Penetrated it. Now this is a thinner one and it's got a solid core to it. Let's test the locking system on this. Now the locking system, again, like the other ones that I've been showing you, it's not a locking system that's so strong I can't break it. So I would make sure that I had a nice flat floor if I'm going to use a product like this, because the locking system can weaken and break on you. It's not, I hit it good with the tapping block and I don't feel like it would damage too easy while you're installing it, so I think you're good to go there. Just make sure that if you're going to use this, that you get your floor pretty flat. Now this is called Procore Plus. Like I said, it's the color is Dovetail. It's a 7x48 plank. It has an attached pad on it, so you can see another nice, pretty looking pad. It's $2.99 a square foot. And then this is 5 millimeters in thickness. The wear layer on it is a 12 mil, and the scratch protection on it is just a urethane. So I don't know. Usually just the urethanes scratch a little bit, so we'll see. I don't see any scratches that were left on this at all. I don't even need to wipe it with my rag. Let's try that again. Yeah, I don't see any. All right, let's test the durability of this locking system, or this part of the plank. It seems to be pretty thin, so I'm gonna tell you right now, I bet you that this is gonna break. And this is a square edge, it's not really a beveled edge on there, so this would be one of those where if this lifts at all, it's going to give that mountain look at the joints that no one wants to see. But I broke it, but it was pretty tough to do. But you've seen the other one, I couldn't break at all. But this one does take a lot of pressure to do it. So I guess it's not too bad. I wouldn't say that it's a bad plank, but you can see how that breaks. So anyway, some of them are so brittle that you even look at them, they break. And I wish I would have shown this on some of the other ones that I shared with you, but you can test this on your own by getting a sample and seeing what I'm saying. Overall, I think that this plank installed pretty decently. I didn't really have any problems with the joints when I tapped them together. I just felt like the butt joints didn't, because of the drop and lock, I felt like they were too loose. And after pounding it together 3 times, it came loose. So I'm not, you know, a super huge fan of this plank, but for the money, the $2.99 a square foot, what a heck of a buy, I guess I would say. And if I was gonna rate this, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Now, just like I showed you with Home Depot, I'm gonna go through a couple of products here that are actual wood products that are on a solid core. So it makes them very water resistant. Okay, I just want to show you and test how the scratch resistance is on these. The locking systems are pretty durable, really hard to break. This is real wood, so I can't break that at all. I nicked it a little bit when I came and slipped on it. You can see how I did dig in there. So this will scratch because it is a real wood. Now this one, I like that it has a little bit thicker of a not a wear layer, but a chunk of wood on there that they glued to the core. Because one of these I'm going to show you is pretty thin. All right, so this is another one. This one is also a Smartcore Naturals. So is this one right here, just so you know. Smartcore Naturals. This one, about the same thickness as far as the wood goes right there, the layer of wood that they put on here. Let's see if we can scratch this. Now this one right here, I just dug in there really nicely and that sucker's not even scratching, and it's a dark one. There's a little bit of a scratch I see right there, but it barely is in there, and I don't even know if, let me see. For a chunk of wood, that's pretty stinking durable, guys. Way more durable than those ones from Home Depot I shared with you. Let's see, the locking system. That's very strong. No worries about that locking system. Let's come up underneath. Oh yeah, that's super thick. Yeah, that isn't gonna wreck at all. Wow, I'm impressed with this one. This is the real wood Smartcore Naturals. Now look at this one. Here's another one. This is Smartcore Naturals. This one, I'm telling you, the piece of wood layer on there is I think my piece of computer paper is thicker. I would stay away from this. It's just not thick enough for me. You want more thickness than that. Let's try the fork test. It's not like you can ever sand these, but I would like to have more thickness of wood on there, more of a veneer. There's definitely some scratches and dents in there from that fork test, but overall, all 3 of them hitting it with the fork, I thought they were all pretty durable for a wood. Let's check the locking system. Now this one's a lot more brittle too than the other ones. This one does break really easy. Let's check this out. I still can't break that lip, so that's strong. Overall, it's a pretty tough product, but just because of how paper thin that is right there, I think I would probably just tell you, I wouldn't consider it because of that. I mean, here's an example of how much thicker. You can actually see this one, right? Let me get it so it focuses, right? And then this one, you can't even really see it, can you? There's a huge difference. Hey, by the way, I'm Joe Latender and you're watching So That's How You Do That. Hey, I really appreciate you watching this. I hope this review helped you out, and I want to point you to a playlist that I have where I have lots of reviews where I've already went through and done some. I've already done a bunch of plank from Home Depot. I went and did some at Menards. I've done 2 weeks now in a row of the Lowe's, so go check out that. I'll leave a link right here. It'll be up here somewhere. I'll put it in the description below so you can go and have easy access to all the reviews. Next week, I'm going to do floor and decor, and then we're also going to do some L&L floors or lumber liquidators, L&L flooring. So I will be getting to those. They're coming. So be patient within the next few weeks. I'm going to keep releasing as we go here. And then I am also going to do a few more reviews on some of the other planks. And I also am going to do a review on some of the different pads that you can buy to put underneath your plank. So be careful what pad you buy, because there are certain ones that you don't want to buy if you are going to use a pad underneath your plank. So check out those reviews coming up. Hey, I just want to say thank you for watching this video and my channel. Be sure to go check out any of the installation videos like I told you earlier. And I pray that God blesses you. I pray that He guides you through your journey here that you're going on for finding a good vinyl plank for your home. During your installation, I pray He blesses your hands and guides you as you do your installation. And I pray for that in Jesus' name. I'm Joe Latender. Thanks for watching.